Everybody, thank you for joining in. It's 901 Executive Protection Live with Melvin Key, Mitch Bullock, Reggie Gunner Coswell, and Cory Jones. Hopefully we'll have Mark McCutcheon on. He's currently on a detail right now, and he's going to try to get away. It's possible that we will have a very, very special guest today. If not this week, we will definitely have some special guests next week. And as normal, as we do normally, we try to give a few people, give people a few minutes to log on so we can have a decent amount of followers so everybody can follow along with the conversation. But we're going to start promptly at 9:03. So 1 minute, we're going to be live and we're going to be answering you guys' questions. And I hope this has been beneficial to you. We've been getting a lot of requests in our DMs. And listen, if you have been trying to contact me, if you've been trying to contact me via DM and I haven't answered, it's because I have entirely too many DMs to answer, and I apologize about that. I try to get back to them when I can, but a lot of times I'm actually working, putting together details. There's some things that I'm putting together right now that has taken my attention far, far away from being able to answer their questions on Instagram. So please know that I am not ignoring you. If you can't get to me, Reggie Gunner Coswell, he's the vice president here at MVP Protective Services, and you can certainly just make sure that you friend request him, follow him on Instagram, and any question that you can ask me that I can't answer, you can go ahead and talk to him. So without further ado, thank you all for joining. Again, it's Melvin Key, Reggie Gunner Coswell, Mitch Bullock, Cory Jones, and hopefully we'll have Mark McCutcheon in. And this is Executive Protection Live. We do this every other Thursday at 9 p.m. and we bring in special guests, executive protection agents from all over the world to answer your questions. There's nowhere else on the planet that anyone's doing this. So we figured we have a whole lot of experience. It don't cost anybody anything, and we wanted to make sure that we get you in and be able to talk up close and personal with the guys who do this job every day. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the host of the show. I'm going to go ahead and bring Reggie Gunner Coswell in and let him introduce himself. After that, we'll follow with Mitch Bullock, and after that we'll have our very special guest, Cory Jones. And you heard me say his name. This is the third time I said Cory Jones. So I've known Cory Jones for a long time, and I'm getting to the introduction later on. Me and Cory met here in D.C. He was a young guy. He was working for Lil Wayne, doing security for Lil Wayne. At the same time, I was working for Gilbert Arenas, and I was also working for the game. And we had a whole lot of, it was Gilbert Arenas' birthday party here in D.C., his 25th birthday party. He threw his outrageous birthday party at a club called Love Here. And that's where I very first met Cory. And I'll tell you that story, and I'll let Cory tell you a little bit about himself. But Cory, at a very young age, was the director of security for Cash Money Records. That's Baby, Lil Wayne, and all of those guys that came under there. So you're going to love to hear from Cory when he comes on. So let me go ahead and bring Reggie Gunner Coswell on, so you guys can see his pretty face. And let's go ahead and start talking Executive Protection Live. Reggie Gunner.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate it.
You shaved your head today?
Well, no, does it look clean?
Yeah. I got a couple of days in on you.
Hey, that's that moisturizing.
Well, here's the deal. I can't get hair here. I've been trying for a long time. I'm almost 50 years in. Don't tell nobody I said that. I'm almost 50. I can't get it to grow past this, man. What's the trick?
It's in the genes.
I'm gonna kill my dad.
That's where it's gonna go. Hey, look, and thank you to Under Armour.
Yeah, thank you to Under Armour. You gotta always give Under Armour their props, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's go ahead, Reg, man. Listen, we do this every other Thursday. A lot of people know you, but there are a lot of people who don't know you. Let's go ahead and give a rundown about yourself, man. You know, how you got into the business, your experience, and that type of thing.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So quickly, I don't know how quickly I can make it, but anyway, quickly. So I first got into the business actually way back when. I won't give, well, actually, whatever, 1991 or so. I don't know, somewhere around that time frame, 91, 92. Gentleman in New York who was a big brother and mentor to me still to this day, Mr. Telly Davis actually got me into this on a set of a movie, Spike Lee movie, Malcolm X, as I was an extra. And I was done. He asked me if I wanted to fill in. He owned the security crew. I joined. And then from there, everything else transitioned into the military, the United States Marine Corps, where I was attached to 2-6 as well as 1-6. At both units, I was attached to the State Platoon 8541, the MOS, which is a Scout Sniper platoon at both destinations, battalions, that is. From there, got out of the military and did a lot of things in the private sector, a couple of agencies, if you will. I attached to, got a lot of good training with DS, for those that know what DS is. A lot of private sector schools. I know a lot of people they're not around anymore, but a lot of people may remember Vance International. Started off with them, and I forgot to mention them before, but Vance is actually a part of where things started as well. A lot of executive protection schools, not necessarily, I don't want to say executive protection institutes, because there is one particular EPI, but pretty much just did the necessary things to do in order to work on my craft, continue what we do in this field of protection and security. And then, of course, we started our own businesses and we grew. I was fortunate enough not to have to do too much advertising, as a lot of our clients came from word of mouth and just direct references. And because of that, here we are today. Myself and, of course, Mr. Key, we go back years. We've shared some of the same clients. We've followed each other through or behind, shall I say, some of the same clients. So that's enough about me in terms of rambling, but we do appreciate everyone for being on this live tonight. And we hope that you guys are able to take something away from this, especially those individuals that are trying to break into the industry and the field. It's not. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily an easy field to break into and be successful. It may be easy to get into depending on what level you come in, but at the same time, it's not for everyone, but it's for everybody, if you can understand that. And again, it's a mentality thing. It's what you put into it. This is not, again, this is not a field where you can be in here today, take a break, and come back another time and just think it's a hobby. This is a lifestyle. This is a way of living. This is, once again, with a lot of professionals you're going to see on here tonight. This is what we do. This is how folks feed their family and set their retirements to the side from this particular field. So I know one of our topics tonight is integrity. I'm just going to read a quick quote or the definition, if you will, of integrity as we're going to be going into this, just so you can get that in your mental to start. So integrity is the adherence to the moral and ethical principles, soundness and moral character, and honesty. So pay attention to that definition as you listen to some of these great individuals that are going to be on here with us tonight. Mr. Key being the first one, Mr. Mitch being the second one, and Cory also being there. And then if we can get that Mr. Mark McCutcheon and a special guest, hopefully to join us, that'd be great as well. But again, we appreciate everybody's time. If you have any questions at this point, any general questions as it pertains to what we're doing and or the field, if you can go ahead and post your questions so that we can take maybe 5 of those before we actually jump into the course of the subject for this evening. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about those things. We're going to try to answer those questions first, but then we're going to talk about why we are here tonight for tonight's subject. And then towards the end, for those that do have additional questions, we're going to take some questions towards the end. So again, if we don't get to your question in the beginning, please write it down. Hopefully we can get you towards the end. And even if we can't get your question in at the end, if you DM us, we will get back to you sooner or later. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be until Monday of next week, but we will get back to you because, you know, things are pretty busy. If I may quickly check out the profile for MVP, as well as check out the training. We'll attach those all at the end. We are going to be in quite a few different areas, from Baltimore, Philly, Chicago, New York. Quite a few things are coming up in terms of training. I will say that the classes are filling up quite quickly. So for those of you that are interested, I will implore you to, if you're serious, to really go to the website and fill out your information. Get the discount code as well. If you don't, then you won't. So again, for those of you that do want that training in this executive protection, and this is the intro and the basics of executive protection, but it's a great way to get true experience from true professionals of this field in this industry that has a large clientele base, but at the same time, and the clientele base is no big issue, but I say that because it shows the background and the character of individuals to be able to last in this field and get the kind of clients that we've had with over 40 years combined experience. And that's really cutting it short, to be honest with you. When you look at myself, Mr. Key, Mr. McCutcheon, and Mr. Mitch with the experience and background. So again, thank you all for being on here. We're going to jump to a couple questions, and then from there, we're going to go into the subject. So the first question I do see here is a E2 Serious. His question is, I'm a federal SPO that's looking for a new job. Okay, so that's more of a statement than a question. I'm sorry, but if you're making that statement to say that you're interested in this field, again, send us an email and/or a direct message. You can email me direct at rc@mvpprotectiveservices.com. That's rc@mvpprotectiveservices.com, and I'll get that information to you whether you're local or not. Okay. Let's see. Another one is coming from HB Solid. What are some of the good driving training programs or schools do you guys recommend? Same thing. As a matter of fact, there is actually a course coming up real soon that's actually going to be in Miami. True driving schools, defensive driving, protective driving, so on and so forth. They're not going to be cheap. We will tell you that right now. They're not going to be cheap. So if you can definitely afford to, one, pay for the course, and then secondly, to get to the location. This next one coming up, I believe, is in Miami, Florida, Mr. Key, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
In February.
February
That is
22nd through the 24th.
Perfect. The 22nd through the 24th. We'll actually be there for that one, renewing and just redoing. Again, this is something that if you're in this field and you're serious, you continue to do. It is definitely over $1,000. I would definitely say that. But again, it's necessary for the field if in fact you are actually interested. And if you are, go ahead and direct message either myself or Mr. Key and/or email us, okay? Yeah. Let's see, maybe two more questions or so. Next one is Mr. Make It Happen 23. How long is the EP training in March, and is it in DC? And it's in DC, right? Yes, Mr. Key, you want to take that one?
Yes, the training in March is a 3-day class. It's here, it's right. Actually, you'll be sitting here in his office for part of it, up in the conference room, and we'll be doing a lot of work out in the field. So that's going to be a 3-day class. Now, I have to warn you. No, I won't warn you. Last time, we had the class, the people were trying to follow the class schedule, what we have posted on our internet for the hours that you're going to be here. So I want to explain to you guys that the hours could be shorter. They could be a lot longer. So during this week, of that class or any class, executive protection class that we take, just plan to be out for the whole weekend. I can say that. So you could, it may be 10 hours, you may be here 12 hours, you might be 11 hours, you might be 9 hours. So I can say that, but that's how long you can expect to put at least 30 hours in that week, over those 3 days. Did that answer the question?
I think that does.
Okay.
Yep, I definitely think that does. And also to piggyback on that, there are next to the training location, which is at the office and the training academy, or should I say the training school academy, there are 2 hotels that are close by for those that may be coming from a distance, where you could probably get one of those rooms, or we can work out, you guys get in those rooms, probably around 100 or under 100. So again, we do have some students that have already booked some of those rooms at the hotel. Because the rates are generally low, there's really no group rate. But again, they're nice rooms, and they're cost effective. Okay. Let's see. We'll take. Let's see.
Before you take a question, let's give Mark a shout out. Mark is online. Mark McCutcheon. I don't know if he's going to be able to talk. So Mark, if you're going to be able to chime in, just send us a text so we'll know, and we can bring you in when we get a chance. Mr. Presbear, we do not have a class scheduled for LA this year. However, we have 10 classes that we plan on doing this year across the United States. 10 classes that we plan on doing. And again, when we talk about training, as Mr. Coswell or Gunner says, that we're not talking for our benefit, we're talking for your benefit. We all started pretty much where you guys are. Most of us in the club somewhere bouncing, some odd job that somebody brought us in, and we realized that this was something that we love. And I can tell you, because I love it, I'll do it for free. I'm in this office every morning at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I don't leave till 1 o'clock in the morning because I love it, And so we do invest, Mr. Coswell said, we do invest in training. That training in February, that's not our class. We don't even know those people. But we know it's important enough for us if we're going to continue to grow in this career, because even with 20 years in plus for each of us, we're still babies in the industry that is continuing to grow. So in order for us to be the best that we can be, we take these classes. And so that's why we're going to be in that class in February in February in Miami, Florida. So if you guys are interested, certainly I don't want to plug anybody else's company on here. We don't have any relationship with them, so I'm not going to plug it here. But we will send you the information outside of this in the DM or email.
Yep.
Reggie, this one for you. That last question, do you see it?
Last one. Let's see.
K. Walsh, 1087.
Come to New Jersey.
You know what that is?
Yes, indeed.
And we just talked about this the other day, right?
We sure did. We sure did.
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so absolutely. So funny thing is that we are actually setting up a course right now for New York, New Jersey. It will be held up in northern New Jersey. Mr. Brickhouse is going to be arranging the particulars with that in terms of the location. There's a couple of places that we're looking at there's a couple of places that want us to come. And one of them is actually a range, indoor-outdoor range up in northern Jersey. But then at the same time, for the sake of space, for the amount of interest that we have for that, we're going to probably take it to a bigger location. And when I say the bigger location for the classroom aspect, a lot of questions have come in about that, asking about the range in terms of firearms and so on and so forth, which is something that we'll probably talk about later on in this as part of some of the subject matter. Let me say this. With the basics and intro of executive protection does not include, and I repeat, does not necessarily include firearms in the range. However, depending on the individuals in the class, depending on the flow of the class, will also depend, and also the location will also kind of determine if in fact we actually do certain ranges or not. It is not a part, so don't expect it. That's actually in the advanced EP courses where you get the firearms, so on and so forth. We will go over classroom only for the most part. Understand this. We will go over weaponry as it pertains to executive protection. We will make sure that you understand what a knife is, how a knife is actually operated, whether it's defensive or offensive. We will also cover certain things in reference to weapons, the nomenclature of the weapon. What is a gun? A lot of people play with guns, been playing with them all their lives, but do not know how to break a gun down, do not know the functions of the weapon, do not know the parts of the weapon, all the way down to the grain of a bullet. They really don't understand why certain bullets have certain grains as it pertains to a firearm, so on and so forth. So these are some things that will be covered in the classroom so that you have a mental understanding, but not necessarily on the range until you get to the advanced executive protection course, of which once you go through the basic and the intro, trust me, you'll be ready for the advance. So
yes,
okay, I just want to point that out, sir.
So no, great point. So now we got Mitch jumping in at biting at the bit. He wants to come on. So let's get Mitch Bullock on. Did you finish, sir? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm done. No, I'm done. Yes.
Okay. Before we do that, Mitch. Let's leave this question for Mitch.
Okay.
Corner King Personal Senior, look like Comer King Personal. His question was, when you're looking for executive protection guys, what do you look for? You want to leave that for Mitch, or you want to answer it?
Mitch, you know what? Mitch can jump on this, but I'll give a part. But
okay.
Mitch can jump on it too. What we are personally looking for when it comes. Okay, so let me understand the question. Are they asking for the course, or are they asking what we look for individually, or as a company?
I think he's asking Comer King. If you can elaborate on it, that would be cool. But excuse me, what I believe that he's asking from our perspective, what do we look for? And I think that's the best perspective to give anyway.
Okay. So when we're looking for an executive protection agent, if we're looking for someone that's already trained in the field, that has the background and credentials that we can vet, we're looking for individuals that are, one, sharp. We're looking for individuals that are, secondly, presentable. And when I say presentable, groomed properly, well dressed, well suited. I know those may seem as more of an exterior, but they go a long way. They go a long way. Outside of that, we're looking for individuals who have exactly what we're talking about tonight, who are ethical, who have integrity, who are honest individuals, and who are able to be a part of a team and be a team player. Individuals who can play their position, if you will, and also execute. Okay, I'm back there. All right. And so I'll leave it at that, and that's for me. And then also, I think Mr. Mitch is going to have some good ways or good things that he looks at as well. So
I agree too. So and I'll just jump in on everything that you said. But again, you guys have to understand how important your social media profiles are. Some of these social media profiles that I look at, where guys say that they're into executive protection, I don't know if they're a rapper. I don't know if they're a promoter. I don't know if they're part of the guy's entourage, the people they're protecting. I don't know if they're a fan. That is one of the things. So we're looking for a clean person who's integrity, because we have to understand that executive protection is a very big space. All right. In between that, you could work with a rapper or hip hop artist. You could work with a football player, a boxer, but they're also corporate executive and royal families and government officials who will, if they came to your Instagram page or your whatever social media page, they would quickly bypass your page to find somebody who has a more professional page. Absolutely. So that is the starting point. And then later on in another segment, we'll get into how important LinkedIn is, and having a LinkedIn profile, and having an email that's professional as well. So we're looking for a clean-cut person who's moldable and coachable. A lot of times we don't look for police officers or military because they're kind of set in their ways. However, military people have the discipline. So if they're coachable and you come from those backgrounds, we love to have you. But we look for people. A lot of times people come from those backgrounds, they have huge egos. I was from that background. Reggie was from that background, so he's a huge ego. And so when you're in that kind of profession, you're taught to go to the fight. In this profession, we're taught to go away from the fight. So that, I hope that helps. And so, Reg, you want to chime in? If not, we can go ahead and bring. We're almost 30 minutes in, but I think we need to bring Mitch in. Okay, all right. Guys, stand by. We're going to bring Mitch Bullock in. Stand by.
All right. Keep your questions coming. I'll be jotting them down.
Okay, my man. See you in a minute. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got you guys. Give me a second. We're going to bring Mitch Bullock in, and he's going to talk to you. Asking questions. 1 second. This thing working. There we go. Bullock Mitch. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. This is incredible, and I haven't yet figured out how to work this camera, so every time I touch the screen, you get to see the chair. Hey there, handsome. My man.
What's happening?
You, brother.
Sorry, I'm not wearing my Under Armour hat. I was washing it. Sorry.
That's all right. Hey, listen. You still gonna get paid, bro. Good to see you, man. You just back from where? You just back in town not only a couple of weeks now, right?
I got home the day before, 2 days before Christmas.
Okay. And where was your last trip?
I with Travis Scott.
Okay.
Through the U.S.
Yeah.
So my next one, I'm not gonna do a second leg. I'm gonna do a Nicki Minaj. I gotta go to Europe.
Okay. Hey, you see Mark down here talking to you. Everybody, Mark McCutcheon is on this feed. Reyes, can you find out if Mark is he going to be able to join us today? If so, we can bring him on the camera.
If you need to do him first or have him go first, absolutely fine. I have time.
Okay, and that's if he has if he can get on.
Right, because I know his time is a little. We're home. He's not.
Hey, listen, Mitch. Good to have you back. We're trying to do is we have a lot of new viewers, so what we're trying to do is reintroduce people to our host here. Mitch and I have gone back a long way. I can just tell you, today we decided to talk about integrity, but loyalty is a part of integrity. Mitch and I started out, man, I must have had 200 or 250 guys working for me in the executive protection field. Mitch and I started out before that doing security with radio stations, Big Tigger, and some things that were going on to the city. Now, we were brand new. I didn't even have training at that time, but I met Mitch and I said, man, this is a hell of a guy. We instantly became friends, and even more than that, we became brothers. And again, because of not only he has a good personality, because he has integrity, ethics, and loyalty. So that I want to bring you on. Mitch, go ahead and give the people an introduction about yourself, and then we'll jump into the integrity and loyalty thing.
Hi, I'm Mitch Bullock. I am nobody. I'm a dude. Mel, you were talking earlier about trying to grow a beard. I'm seeing what I can do for a little bit, and it's not working too well.
It ain't working.
Nah.
It ain't in the cards for us.
Nah, so it's going to come off. My wife doesn't like it either, so it's going to come off.
Yeah, okay.
But I've been in the game, as we say, for quite a few years. Started touring in '98, doing security in clubs early, late '80s, early '90s, done all that, done crowd management through companies, getting to know venues, and people ask me all the time, how can I do what you do? I can fight. Not the answer. You don't say that, but I've been around and I've seen people come and go. That's security personnel and artists. I've seen them all come and go. And the one thing that you have to be in this game is humble and loyal to your job, meaning perfect your craft. Okay? Get certifications, trainings. Obviously, everyone doesn't fit with everyone else. So you got to find that perfect fit, which Mel has said it. We got a good fit. Myself and Mel, that is my brother. There's no question about it. And I'm as loyal as they come. I'm as loyal as they come. So I don't do the backstabbing and things like that. Nah, because it's all business to me. I have a family to feed, and my name is pretty much all I have. So I got to keep it fresh. Okay. Getting the training to do what we do. Earlier, someone asked, what do you look for in an agent? What we look for, well, I can say this on my side, is Common sense.
Yep. Yep.
Common sense. You know, paying attention. Because they say, you know, paying attention is free, and not a lot of people do it. You know, but paying attention, having common sense, being aware. You know, like me, my antennas are up 24/7.
Hmm.
24/7. Even if I go to dinner with my wife, she knows what goes on in my head and what I do and why I sit where I sit, things like that. So if you want to do what we do, don't just think, okay, I'm a big guy, I can do this. No. Don't think, oh, I can fight, I can do this. No. Because if you fight, you get your client sued, you get arrested, you get a reputation. Oh, guess who doesn't work anymore? So you can't do that. So take pride in what you do. If you choose to do this, don't do it half bleep ass. Don't do that. If you're gonna do it. Take pride in what you do, perfect your craft, get your knowledge, and keep it pushing. And stay focused and always look presentable. Because this is coming off. There's no question about that. That's coming off. It's gonna clean up because the phone never goes off. So when I need to throw in a suit, I throw in a suit and I'm clean. Let's go. That's the only way I know. Give me a question. Somebody question. Give me something.
We got a
Anybody.
question. There's a guy. Let's go back up to. Before I do that, let me shout out Top Dog Bleak, man. That's my nephew. Again, I say he's the youngest guy I know. He started working with me when he was 16 years old doing EP work. So I'm going to give him a shout out. And Malik is now 18 years old. And we actually send him on solo assignments with some of our lower tier clients. But he's very good, and they always request him back.
That's a good thing.
Yep. Okay. There was a
Wait.
question I had for you. Okay, here's one. Chosen One 215. Chosen One, thanks for your question. He wants to know how do you go about getting work as far as someone who is new to executive protection? You want to answer that?
How do you get work? Networking. First of all, you have to do the job correctly. Let someone else talk about how good you are. You don't do it. Let someone else brag. You know, references, on your resume, put down a phone number. Someone needs to look at your resume. You can use someone as a reference. So let someone else talk about you. But getting yourself out there, network. And again, if you have a client and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and someone obviously sees you working with that client, they're going to get in contact with that client. Hey, I like the guy that you had, how can I get in contact with him? So networking, staying focused, doing your job will help you. And again, networking, business cards, pushing them out, just pushing. Get a box of 1,000 and push them out. It'll happen, but make sure whatever you push out and whatever's on that card, you can do. Don't just have a card say, okay, I'm trained in self-defense, and you don't know the first thing about a wrist lock or anything. Can't do that because you could get pulled on that. You could get tested. So be aware of that. Any type of training, certifications you can get it, because someone will pull you and say, hey, look, you said you're certified in crowd management. Let me see your certification. If you don't show it, no work. Hope that answers your question.
That was absolutely right, and that's one of the things that we said. Well, I like the part that you said business cards. So one of the things is that you, as working in the field, you do need to have business cards. You do need to have a professional social media thing. And even if you're not marketing your business, your social media still needs to be professional. Whether it's your pictures of your family, your dog, or something like that. A lot of people want to put their personality out there, but remember, you're a professional. So somebody may come across your personality, and if you're drinking, cognac or whatever it is, and whatever it is that's crazy out there, because you see a lot of stuff. That's what they're going to see, and that's going to ruin you. Now, Mitch, you said something about business cards. I think you should have business cards. We had business cards, but when we grew up, because we grew up in this thing together, we would never. People would come and say, "Hey, can I get your business card?" But if Mitch brought me on, I would say, "I don't mind, but Mitch brought me here.
Please let me interrupt on that. Please let me interrupt him.
Okay, bro.
When you're brought on, let's say Mel brought me on to whatever I'm doing, okay, or whoever I'm with, and I get approached while I'm working under Mel's umbrella by someone that says, "Hey, I like the way you work. Can I get your number?" Blah, blah, blah. You don't do that. I give out Mel's number, tell them I was brought in by Melvin Key. Call him if you need me.
Exactly.
And then you go through that. Because that, to me, and obviously other people think their way, to me, Mel, turn around, let me stick you in your back. That's what that's like to me. I'm not that type of guy.
That's right.
I'm not going to stab you in your back to get a client. It's not going to happen.
That's right. Small world.
So I give my, I wouldn't even give my card because it's got my name on it. I would say, "Hey, take this number down." Or I would write it down, Melvin Key, here's his number. Tell him you talk to Mitch. You're looking for Mitch. That's how it's handled. You don't push yourself out there under someone else's umbrella. Now, when you're doing things through your so-called umbrella, push it. Push it hard. Network yourself. Get it out there.
That's right. That's right. Now you hit it right on the head, and that's how it's always been, and that's why me and you. I mean, we've had that understanding from the beginning, and that's why we've been so close. And but anyway, perfect answer, Mitch. Somebody asked. I'm going to ask this question. Do you believe almost 40 minutes has gone past so far already? We got to bring in Cory too, and we had a couple of topics. We may not even get through it, but people love to see you when you come on this camera anyway. So. Look, somebody asked, I got to ask this question. It was something about size, something about being 6 feet, 180 pounds. I'm 6 feet right now at this present time. I'm 175 pounds because I stopped eating meat and I run probably 15 miles a week. So it doesn't mean a lot. You don't have to be a big guy to be successful in this business. And Mitch is going to chime in on that. There it is. There it is.
Okay, size. A lot of people think size matters doing what we do. No. I'm 6'2", 260. I got a little bit of size to me. I don't think I'm big. Other people do. Mel just stated his size. It does not matter the size. It's the size here and here, period. I know guys, one of my great friends, one of my great friends, Tony, is about 5'7", 5'8", maybe 160-ish. And he's been in the game for a long time, and he's still going. And he's got, his name is out there. He's doing his thing. He's requested. So size means absolutely nothing. It's the knowledge that you get, because you can be the smallest guy in the world. And if it comes to, you need to take someone down to protect your client, it's all in the technique that you learn, or techniques.
That's it. And
size means nothing.
And we're at 9:40. I do want to bring Cory in. But speaking of technique, Mitch, you are probably we're over now. You study how many martial arts? You're one of the best that I've seen do it. You and Mark McCutcheon, I wouldn't want to get in a fight with either one of you guys.
I don't fight.
I kick a lot of ass, but I don't want to fight you guys.
No, it won't happen. It won't happen. You have to shoot me because I'm not going to do anything. Yeah.
Well, just real quick, give me the rundown of your martial arts, all the things that you train in. And
I have a black belt in Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, and Wado-Ryu Karate. And that Wado-Ryu Karate is a form of karate out of Japan. My sensei Johnny, shout out to Mr. Sensei Johnny, is fantastic. But that doing these arts, I mean, you don't have to do, multiple arts, your choice, but I perfect me. Okay. That's why I chose to do what I'm doing. But it helps doing what we do. If you have someone that's aggressive, and if you need to take them down or hit them with a pressure point to slow them down, whatever you have to do to protect your client without getting a lawsuit,
Mm-hmm.
you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the training that I have, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Mm-hmm.
do that without a problem. I can do it in a crowd. No one will know, but that person or persons.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the training, highly recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommended. Get it. Get that knowledge under your belt. And not only will you defend your client, you'll defend yourself,
That's
your
right.
family,
That's right.
whoever's around you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for multiple things. It's not just for work. It's self-protection,
Awesome.
self-defense.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitch, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna cut to Cory, and hopefully we can get Mark in here. We got a little 18 minutes left, so let me get them on, man. If we don't get you back on, I love you. We'll talk to you later on today or tomorrow. But thanks for your input, brother.
No problem.
My man.
Love
All
you,
right,
bro.
guys, stand by. We're gonna have a short music break, and we're gonna bring in Cory Jones, former head of security for Cash Money Records. This guy's incredible. Like I said, when I first met him, it was years ago. I was working for Gilbert Arenas, who played with the Washington Wizards. He threw a crazy birthday bash, and Cory came with Lil Wayne. That's the very first time I met him. I said, that guy's sharp, and I could tell that he was young, but I knew that he was going to go far in his field. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring Cory Jones in. Cory.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
Not much, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just getting off the plane, man. Trying to release some of that jet lag.
You cross country? It's cross country or yeah, right? LA?
Yeah, I was in LA.
And you back in Miami now?
Back in Miami, man. Feels good.
My man. So listen, Cory, I don't even know if you remember this, man. You remember that Gilbert Arenas party, don't you?
And that was a crazy night. a lot of celebrities was in that building, man. I think they had about, what, 30 artists?
It was crazy, man. AI was there. Gilbert Arenas. Game was there. Busta Rhymes was there. I still got pictures of that thing, man.
Yeah, man. That was the craziest night I think I've been in with a big artist at that time, man. Forgive me, I'm trying to relax outside, man. So take in the air.
That's right. How's the weather down there?
Oh, man, it's better than LA, man. LA is like a hurricane about to hit, man. So it's dry, it's cool temperature, but it's nice, man.
Cool. Hey, listen, we got 16 minutes, man, so we got to get to it fast. Again, Cory, just give them a spiel about yourself, man, your experience, your background, and then hopefully we can get to some of those integrity questions that we had on the agenda.
Well, I'm Cory Jones, based out of Miami. What can I say, man? I've been doing it for a while, but not as long as Mitch. But I've seen Mitch work, and it's a real deal. A lot of work, man. I'm a workhorse. So people call me for tours and specialize in high risk, guys who actually have a lot of threats on their life. Record labels will call me and, handle the work, handle the job.
You like the fixer for the for the high risk people, huh? When they call you the go-to guy.
Yeah, man. I don't know how, man, but I guess, guys like you and stuff keep on referring me. I keep on taking it.
Now, man, you cut your own niche out, man, and I'm very proud of you. But I do definitely remember when we met that night, And then when we crossed paths again, man, and we started having conversations, I kept on saying, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this guy. And
Yeah.
then it clicked in, man, and it, you know, from then it's been same like with Mitch and everybody else. It's been a brotherhood.
Brotherhood, man.
Yeah, but that's based on. But before we get to that, 'cause I'm about to go into loyalty. When you started, tell me, how old were you?
Oh man, I was every bit of 17 going into 18, man.
Wow. And how did
Started real young.
Real young. So how did you even get into the profession then?
Working in the studio. A lot of people didn't know I was in the music business. I wanted to be an A&R and an engineer. And around that time, we had Big Meech and BMF down here in Miami, and I got a chance to meet his bodyguards. And I asked questions, man. I saw them riding in nice cars, and I was like, man, you know, what does it take and all that stuff. I asked a lot of questions, man. I always wanted to learn, you know, and they told me, and I took it on. I took on the challenge and took it serious.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I had a uncle that was in Secret Service, and I was able to train with him up in Georgia. And yeah, I just took it serious, man. I really took my life serious and the job serious.
And so, so the guys that you brought in, they were much older than you, huh?
Man, every bit of in their 40s.
Okay.
A lot of the guys that I knew, yeah, they were in their 40s, upper 30s, but 40s, 50s, and you couldn't BS with them. They had to see something in you, because they would tell you straight up, man, nah, you're not it. And if you wasn't, you was going to stop then. You know, you wasn't going to get no calls. And luckily, I earned their trust and respect. And they brought me in, and I started in a big way with a lot of big known artists. So.
And when you took over Cash Money Security, how old were you then?
I was 19 going on 20. I think you met me when I was 20.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot. It was overwhelming, but I handled it. It was all about integrity. It was all about getting people to respect you, because I didn't have facial hair. And now I have all of this, but I didn't have none of that. I was clean faced, and being around some of the big artists that wanted to be around a Lil Wayne, you know. So it's definitely a big challenge.
Yes, sir. Now let me ask you, so now how old are you now, Cory?
I'm 33.
So man, almost 20 years in the business, right?
I'll say 16. I like to say 16.
But listen, how have you made it this long in the business? What's the staying power?
Good morals, honest, loyal. I think loyalty has got me this far, man. To have people, you know, let's just say a bitch. Everybody likes the way he works. He's old school, but his word means everything. So if I was to get blackballed by him, my career probably would be over. So I think it definitely takes loyalty. Yeah. Being loyal.
Yeah, I think so too, man. But so what we found out is that it seems like there's a lot of people who say they do what we do, or there's a lot of people
NBA.
What'd you say?
No, I'm reading the comments.
Somebody shouted you out, huh? I see it too. So this is a lot of people that do what we do or say that they do what we do. There are, as they say, there are different levels to this. Very, very different levels to this. But however, it's a very, very small world. And loyalty means a lot, because like you said, you know Mitch, and we know you, and it only takes one phone call for they to call somebody. Well, they say, well, who did you work with? And they can say, well, I work with Cory. And then what I'm going to do, if somebody tells me that, I'm going to pick up the phone, Cory, and say, Cory, what's up with this guy? And you're going to say, that guy's a piece of, whatever, or that guy is great. and the word travels around very, very fast. So if people think they're
Yes,
going to
it
get
does.
in this business and kind of steal some clients or you know, act in any kind of way that's contrary to what we stand for as executive protection agents, then they won't make it long. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. And all our conversations, anytime we talk, whether it's personal or whether it's business, it always comes back to loyalty.
If you don't have that, man, it's not gonna work, man. And I tell you now, don't get into it. The state of this business is under attack right now. And I see a lot of guys trying to get in. To me, it's a fraction of it. You might have 1 million clients. It's about 4 or 5 million of us. So you have one time with a Melvin, a Gunner, a Mitch, a Patrick Newton, a Big E, or anybody to mess up, and those guys just destroy you, you know? And I take that serious. Like Mitch was saying, you only got your name, man. And he said so much, man. I just felt like my interview was over, man. He spoke for me. Because you know, I appreciate what you're doing too, man. This is raw and uncut. You know, we ain't waiting to get no book. We're not waiting for no audio book or no TV show. This is it, man. This is y'all getting the raw and uncut from the best. And I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm just saying I feel like a lot of guys are moving wrong. They're moving weird. And I'm a real give it to you how it is type of guy. And a lot of guys are just moving wrong, man. They don't understand how, you know, social media presence, posting. I felt like I took it a further and out of my element when I started posting workout videos and a lot of different other stuff, because I just wanted people to understand what needed to go into this and doing this. You know, not to say I work out better or I have the remedy of how to get in shape. What works for me may not work for anybody else, but this is what it takes, man, to really push. You know, I don't sleep. I sleep maybe 3 hours a day. The rest of the time I'm up doing my advance. You know, it's Thursday, so this is advanced day, and Friday is our advanced days, on the phone all day, and then coordinating travel and everything else. So I don't get any sleep. You know, I'm home right now, but guess what? I'm still on the phone trying to figure out what's going on with other clients. Mm-hmm. So, you got to work, man. Mm-hmm. You ask what it takes, you know, you got to work, you know. A lot of guys don't know what work is because they're getting it too easy. Yeah, you know, I could work in a club. You know, I worked in clubs too. You know, I did. You know, that's the only way you're going to get the feel of people and how to deal with people in different in the wildest situations. But, you know, people say I was former law enforcement, former military. That's great. You know, you have a certain background where you can get licensed easier. But when it comes to the mental side of it, if I take you somewhere and you're hearing explosives on the stage and stuff like that, man, I don't need the PTSD, whatever, to kick in and, you know, you ducking, you know what I mean? So that's not going to get to us. It's all about you, your energy. What I look for is energy.
Yes.
How you speak, how you represent yourself, not doing too much, you know, communication. It takes communication. If I'm working a detail for you, Melvin, I don't, you know, updates. You know, I might do something for Shadow Group. I might do something for whoever else, man. I give them updates. I want to make them feel like they're there and they're still in control of their situation. That goes back to the loyalty side, you know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of guys, they won't even pick up their phones. Like Mitch was saying again, his phone stays on, you know what I'm saying? My phone stays on. You know, I've gotten calls from like a Paul White. He's called me in the morning. My phone, it just so happened the ringer was off, and I missed the work call. And guess what? He's gonna find somebody within 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So you know, you have to live this. You
That's right.
know, you have to become this. You know, if you're not willing to become it, you're not willing to sacrifice time with your kids to be out on the road, or time on a detail. I get called last minute. You know, the earliest I've got a call has like 2 hours to be on a flight. And we know if you're traveling with a weapon, you know, you want to be there a little bit more earlier. But I had 2 hours to get to the airport to get on for that job. And you know, that goes into go bag and all that stuff, you know, training. Good training is going to teach you that. So I probably went further. I'll let you talk.
No, bro. No, listen. I mean, it's good. We have to bring you back on because you got so much inside of you. And you said one thing that you said you don't consider yourself the best. I think when it's all said and done, if they was to write a book, you would be one of the people that would go in it.
I appreciate that.
All right. So, no, man, I appreciate you. Listen, we got 4 minutes, I think, and we got a great close the show out. So we're gonna bring you back on. I will be back in touch with you. Probably get in touch with you tomorrow and check in with you. But if I don't get to, I'll see you in February. So I'll be down on on the 20th or the 21st, and then I'll be there, all that week. So we're gonna. If you're home, we're definitely gonna connect.
Definitely, man. Always a pleasure, man.
Thanks, Cory. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
All right. All right, guys. So there you have it. We're going to bring Reggie Gunner back in because we have 3 minutes. We'll have some closing words, and hopefully we can get Reggie and the rest of the people in. So let's get them in here. Let's close out. And then we'll come back next, maybe the following Thursday. I think the 31st is when we're back. I think it's the 31st. I might be wrong, but I'll definitely post it. Gunner, hey, man,
yes, sir.
Show, it went a lot longer than we thought, man, but again, Absolutely. We got a lot of great guys, a lot of great information. I think we got to close out. We only got three minutes. You got any closing words?
Again, the closing words pretty much is always, guys, if you're serious about this, we're seeing a lot of individuals that are making comments and definitely saying that they're serious and they want to get into the business. Again, as Mitch said, it starts here in the heart and the mind. If you're serious, please know that you're serious. Take it seriously. Do the necessary things that you need to do to get the necessary training. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to, hurt yourself and not return home, but you certainly don't want to also hurt your clients and or their families in return and not have them return home as well, should you even get to that level. This is something that is serious. It's not play. It's not a hobby. It's not something that you can just decide today you want to do, skip in and out. It's not that kind of party. Just like certain people work on their crafts or whatever it is. You want to be a pilot, you go to school for it. Okay, you work on your craft. It's a perishable field. This is also a perishable field. So hey, listen, stay up, stay positive. We appreciate you guys for chiming in. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm gonna throw it back to Mr. Key. Okay. Sorry we couldn't get to the rest of these questions, but again, we will try to get to you guys through direct message or email. Okay, Mr. Key.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. You're right. Reg, I'm gonna go ahead and we got 2 minutes left according to this. I'm gonna bring Mitch in for final words, and then I'll give you a call after this. I appreciate you, my brother.
Always, definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I think we may have lost Mitch. All right. I think we've lost Mitch on the feed. So, listen, there it is, uncut. As Cory said, it's raw. Nobody else is doing this. We get so many questions about this field and people who are looking to enter into it. So I wanted to bring some of the best professionals in the world to talk to you, to give you their input, how they started and how they ended up where they are today. And the repeating theme is training. Again, you don't have to come to our training. Although these same guys that you're talking to, these people who have worked all over the world in 40 different countries, these are the people who are going to be doing the training. If you're serious, send us a DM, email us at epteam@mvpprotectiveservices.com. If you already have resumes, CVs, you can send those to us. But if you're interested in the training, the link is in my bio. Click the link in my bio, go register. We're going to Chicago. We're going to Philadelphia. We're going to be all over the United States doing this training, and we want you guys to be successful in your career. All right, so there you have it, Executive Protection Live. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more topics. special guests, and a whole lot of information. Thanks, guys, for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week.